What would you say is the biggest psyop of the whole humanity?
The globe.
Really?
Yep. Because that's the monumental, that's the foundation of a lie. So if you think you live on it, that means that you're more, in my opinion, you're more susceptible to believe all these false narratives, because the playing field that you, like, if you don't know where you live, how do you know who you are? How do you know where you came from? How do you know where you're going? So if you think you came from monkeys, evolved from, well, you have to. You have to. If you
But
think
mind you, it's a theory. It's not proven.
what's not proven?
Evolution theory.
Yeah, just like gravity is a theory.
Right.
No, yeah, I know. But we're taught it in kindergarten, right?
Yes.
So you walk into kindergarten, which you're used to just being with mom and hopefully dad the first 5 years of your life, having a good time playing, maybe learning how to draw your name or something. You take them to public school, you would expect, like, hey, let's extend learning how to write your name. No, here's a globe. This is where you live. And they're so little that they're just like, what? Like, why don't we fall off? Gravity. But what about gravity? Yeah, but I don't understand. Gravity. Okay. They move on. And then the next year they learn a little bit more. The next year they learn a little bit more. And then that's it. It's not like they teach us this in high school. You have a brain by then. You have critical thinking by then. Imagine if they started teaching that you live on a ball Earth freshman year of high school. It would never work. Kids are sponges. You could tell the 5-year-old that gravity is cabbage, and cabbage holds the planet in place. It's a really strong vegetable. And the kid's going to go, wow, okay. And Santa's coming in December too. The Easter Bunny's coming. So they get him young. They get all of us young. They even give you, that, I think, that like a worksheet right away of the planets and the sun's in the center, and you got to line them up and all this stuff in American public schools. So they want it right out the gate. They want your mind. They're gonna take your mind away. They're gonna make you feel insignificant. You're a speck. You mean nothing, little kid. You're a speck of dust in an infinite universe. This is all random. You evolved from monkeys. You came from a Big Bang, which, by the way, the Big Bang Theory was invented by a priest, I think in the 70s, maybe. So it's a recent theory. People are like, the Big Bang's been around for centuries. No, it hasn't. It's a brand new theory. Yeah, George Lemaitre is his name. Could be wrong on the date, but it's George Lemaitre. He was, I think, Einstein's buddy.
1915 to 1917.
Oh, yeah, I was way off, sorry.
Einstein's general relativity. Okay.
No, there it is. 1927, George Lemaitre, Catholic priest and physicist who proposed the universe beginning from a primordial atom, the Big Bang, quote unquote, the Big Bang. So he suggested the Big Bang theory.
Proposed.
Of course.
And I propose it's not true. Why don't they listen to me?
Because you're not Einstein's friend.
Okay. I'm not a scientist.
And you have to understand, with Einstein, he's another actor. He's not, there's very low IQ. I know people might kick me back for that, but I'm sorry. Very low IQ. Listen to the man. No one really listens to him. Number one, he always reads from a script. He doesn't know how to talk. He's not intellectual. He's an actor. He was one of the original crisis actors, in my opinion, because Tesla was getting so popular, Nikola Tesla, with free energy.
You think he was real?
I wasn't alive then. I don't know. Could he have been a fake character? Sure. But either way, the story goes that, because it's just a story, we weren't alive then. The story goes that Tesla was getting popular with this free energy stuff, and especially from the old world, kind of reverse engineering the old world stuff, where they had all the free energy in buildings and towers and everything. And they're like, no free. Here comes the Rockefeller. Rockefeller education comes in. And they're trying to put the Tesla theory, all that, well, kind of truth, not really theory, but they're trying to put that aside. So they bring up Einstein. You're going to be our guy. You got the crazy scientist hair. You're perfect for the role.
Right.
And he's just reading a script. The gravity and this, that, whatever. And then his friend George Lemaitre, like, well, the Big Bang Theory. And I'm a priest, so this comes from God, right? Because a lot of people back then were fighting it, man, because my buddy Dave Weiss, he interviewed a lady, Ruth Heath, back right before COVID-19 started, like the week of the lockdowns, right before, because they shut down all the nursing homes. But he was going into nursing homes. I think that because his someone in his family was at this nursing home in Connecticut. He went in there to visit his family, and then he's like, hey, while I'm here, he asked one of the directors, like, is there anyone over 100 years old that still has their screws that I could speak to? He didn't say why. He wanted to talk about the old world.
Right.
To see what they remember about the world's fairs and everything. And they're like, yeah, I think her name was Ruth. She's, I think, was 100, 203. Perfect. I mean, just memory, sharp, converse, not, no senile whatsoever. And so he went up to her, talked to her about the world's fairs and what she remembered, and she gave her take. But then at the very end, because he don't want to be controversial, but he's like, what were you taught? Before I go, what were you taught as a kid? Where'd you go to school? Public school in Connecticut. Public, not private, not religious, no. What were you taught about the globe? She wasn't. Didn't exist.
And she went to school in 1920s?
I believe so. This is right around the Rockefellers taking over the Board of Education. She said there was no such thing as the globe. It was the earth was flat. This is what they taught. This is what they learned. This is what they knew. It was fact.
Really?
Rockefellers came in. See, this is what people don't understand is that I get
She
this,
said that she was taught this?
that the earth was flat in public school. And then Dave Weiss went even further. And once he found that out, he went further in detail, started contacting people. Who do you know? Who do you know? Of course, you can't go to, he wanted to start going into all the nursing homes after that, but they locked down, right? He blames himself as a joke that interview made this COVID-19
Cost. Yeah, the lockdowns.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's far-fetched, but it's still funny to think about that way, the way it lined up, right? But he started making calls and trying to figure out, and then he started hearing other stories of people that they were being taught the earth was flat even through the 40s, 1940s, 30s, and 40s. It was still, and then in the 50s, it was both. They started saying, it's a globe, it's flat, we don't know. And then by the 60s, after NASA came out, they destroyed it. They started actually making fun of it in our public school books, showing a earth is flat photo. Like the ancients used to think the earth was flat, and they would show like this pancake in space, which no one believes in. And then like ships are falling off, right? But in reality, it's a ball and everybody's safe. And then it was like for kids, right? So they really pushed it hard. But I look at it like the Rockefeller education system started in the early 1900s. And if you didn't teach their books, you weren't going to be funded by them. You were going to shut down eventually. So these schools were like hungry to stay open, and they're like, yeah, we'll teach it. You're going to fund us and give us free lunches on top of it. Like, yeah, let's do it. And this whole system of the heliocentric model really took off. But the problem I have is the kickbacks I always get is like, yeah, but the Greeks knew for thousands of years. No, that's a story in the book. That's a new.
They knew, right?
It's a new book with a new model. We have to push it. And in that book, it's going to say that 2,000 years ago, they figured this out, right? Mm-hmm. It's only a story with characters involved. So it's not reality that for thousands of years, they knew the earth was a ball. This is a new construct, a new satanic system. You can't have a new world order without controlling the population. And the ball is how you control them. Because think about the Truman. You ever seen the Truman Show?
Amazing movie.
Yes.
I encourage everybody.
One of my favorite movies of all time. But my favorite part of the Truman Show, there's a lot, but my favorite part that nails it is when he's a kid, he's in school. It's a flashback. He raises his hand. What do you want to be when you get older? He raises his hand, and Truman says, he stands up. He says, I want to be an explorer, just like the great Magellan. And she pulls out a globular map. Oh, you're too late. There's nothing left to explore. And that's the point of it. They want to cut that off from our brain. We're born with senses to love, hunger. I think exploration is one of those natural God instincts. It's shut off as soon as you get to kindergarten. There's no exploration. Everything on this ball has been explored. Just pay your taxes, die of cancer, shut up. No more exploration. So, when Admiral Byrd went to go travel past Antarctica to explore, he couldn't get in by boat. It's documented. The ice wall is too high. They're not going to be able to climb that. They had to go back, get approval. They had to fly over there. They flew over there with aircrafts. I think they were airships, not documented. That's my opinion. But they said they flew. They flew over the ice wall to go see what's over there, to explore Antarctica. And deep past the ice wall, he was there for many months. When he came back to the States to have his Longines chronoscope's first interview, as soon as he got back, he went on live TV. And they asked him, they said, what's up? Like, what did you see over there? And he says, well, I saw another continent the size of North America over there that no one's ever seen before.
He said that?
He said that on live TV. And right after that, all of a sudden there's a treaty and then NASA starts. So you have to see the timeline. Once they discovered there's more land, they quickly start a treaty where me and you can't go over there and explore.
Correct.
It's banned.
That's true. That's true.
Now, granted, for your audience, you can visit Antarctica. You got $20,000, $30,000. You got a pre-approved. You have to get it approved from the government first. And then on top of that, it's very limited time and only limited zone. So there's little tourist bases, right? There's one on Rothschild Island. That's what it's called. And then there's one.
Rothschild Island.
That's what it's called. Then there's one. The most common island I think that people visit when they do Antarctica tours is called Deception Island. Look it up. So Deception Island is a place, a common base that's used over there. Rothschild Island as well.
Bro,
What?
yes, Deception Island is 100% real, and it's one of the most fascinating and unusual.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Deception Island.
Yeah.
They tell you.
Well, it's revelation of the method. Everything is told, right? So when you go, people are like, my cousin went to Antarctica for a week. So this whole, we can't go over there. No one said you can't go to Antarctica. You can't explore Antarctica. You can't go to Deception Island after you pay 30 grand for 1 week. You only get a certain amount of time there, and you got to get the heck fuck out of there. If me and you paid all this money to go there, number one, approved by the government, they probably run my name and say no way. But
By what government?
America.
So
Wherever you live. So America.
There are certain amount of countries that run Antarctica, right?
So they say.
Yeah.
So they say. But it's just say me and you paid 60 grand. We went over there for the 1 week tour, right? It's heavily controlled. There's zones where you can't go outside. There's flags. You can't go past here. Their excuses like sinkholes and like they try to scare you, right?
Sinkholes.
Yeah, like you're gonna die if you go past this flag type of thing because they don't want you to go anywhere.
But that's my life.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, they care for me?
I'm sure that you have to sign the approval that you go with the rules. I'm assuming, of course. But if we went over there, there's no chance, 0% chance that we're like, you know what? We'll be back in a few years. We're gonna head that way. No chance. So how can we know what Admiral Byrd saw if we're not allowed to go over there, right? That's number one. Number two, you have to see the timeline of it all because they already knew about more land past Antarctica in the 1800s. There's many firsthand eyewitness testimony books. One's called Iron Republic. I recommend that for everyone.
Iron Republic?
Iron Republic. That is a firsthand eyewitness testimony of a man that this was the late 1800s. He was tired of the tyranny, okay? So he lived, I believe, this guy that got the ship together with his crew, I believe, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure he lived in New York, okay? Now, in the late 1800s, I'm sure you'll see it eventually, the film I made, Old World Order, the great fires were going on all over the country. They were burning all of these old world buildings, burning them down, disintegrating them. They didn't want people to know the true past, ancient civilizations, right? And so I think it lines up perfectly with his story because he's like, dude, there's a lot of tyranny, and I'm completely summarizing the book here, but there's tyranny going on in the States. We got to get the F out of here. We got to just go, just get in our ship. They have big cruise ships. Let's just go. We end up in Africa. They're burning down our country. We got to go. So he gets in his ship. He goes and he travels south and he gets lost at sea. He documents the whole thing. He sees stars he's never seen before. None of the stars we see going around us. More stars over there. So they're lost because they don't have GPS, you know. Mm-hmm. They're traveling by the star patterns, but they start getting lost because they're like, whoa, what are these star patterns? Where are we? He gets through an inland through Antarctica with a ship. They travel a lot longer. They're like, where's land? Where are we? What is going on? They're traveling for so long. He ends up seeing land in the distance. Thank God they don't know where they are. Maybe it's Europe. Maybe it's Africa. They don't know. But they don't know by the stars. They have no idea what's going on. They stumble upon land. They call themselves, we're North America, Iron Republic. That's their continent. They're I wouldn't say giants, but very, very, very tall human beings that they approach. Tall. But this is advanced technology over there that he's documenting in the book. Flat screen TVs on the wall. This is a book in the 1800s, by the way. Flat screen TVs on the wall, Bluetooth technology, all the stuff that we have now, like they had then in those lands. Like,
but what would you believe them? Believe this book? That this is not just a sci-fi book, let's say.
Oh, I'm sure that mainstream would call it sci-fi, of course.
It says the Iron Republic is a fascinating and often misunderstood work, especially in alternative history and hidden lands discussions.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I mean, are they going to just ChatGPT is going to tell you that the book's real?
Right.
You know, and this book was buried. I mean, what a great book if it was fantasy. Why have we never heard about it till recently? Right? This is something that they've buried. They covered up. There's another book called Smoky Gods, similar situation. The point is, even if you thought it was sci-fi, they're still talking about more land beyond Antarctica, multiple books in the 1800s. They're talking about civilizations that are advanced, that have technology that was not supposed to exist back then.
Late 1800s, he never saw TVs, Bluetooth technology, but he wrote about it.
Yeah, but it was
So
there.
so it means
We take their technology and bring it here and sell it to the public. And they, you know, they always say like
they invented it in the garage, bro.
Yeah, well, no, well, that's the thing, though. They, like you were just saying about AI. I mean, Sora could have been 20 years ago. They're just giving it to us now. Same thing. TVs could have been out for hundreds of years, and they didn't want to give it to the people, you know, in the plantation that they control via the 7-continent known world we know of, the center of the earth. They didn't want to give it to us. They rolled it out much later, and they charged us a lot of money for it, and they control us with it, right? They go get this technology, they reverse engineer it, and they sell it to us on their demand when they want to release it to the public, similar to AI. But I look at it from the perspective of, even if you thought it was fake, oh, this book's just fantasy. But look at all what they're documenting is insane. It's insane, and it matches with a lot of other books in the 1800s, right? And a lot of older maps that have more continents. There was a map that they found in a Buddhist temple from 1,000 years ago, and it had our 7 continents there with a circle, and then continents all over, just all over. Oops, sorry, all over the place. So, oh, that's just fantasy. Well, yeah, you can't keep saying fantasy, fantasy, fantasy when it all lines up to they're hiding this from us. So what a perfect way to hide it. You take the 7 continents that people know about. The public already knows there's 7 continents by the 50s. And they wrap it into a ball and say that's all there is. And now if you're like, well, I want to explore, I want to double check. You can't legally. So they've put us on this ball to, it steals your mind. And it steals the mind of a child. There's no more exploration. There's no want. And then when someone says, hey, the earth is a stationary plane, and for all we know, it's an infinite plane. How will we know that? We can't go check. We can't see where it stops, right? We can't check anything. We have to take their word for it. Who's they? The Rockefeller Book of Education. And they come and they get rid of all this religion out of schools. They push this globe, this big bang, come from monkeys, evolution. And that's the norm now. And that's why, to me, that's the biggest psyop that ever existed. Because as soon as you get your ball taken away from you, no one wants to, it's my ball, I don't want to get rid of it. As soon as you take the ball away from the kid, adult, but you take it away from the kid, now the world is one big wondrous thing. And we look around and go, where are we? Who are we? You know, we need to find that out to really show our true power as humans. And we've been lied to about it all. So it keeps us kind of in this controlled field because, you know, if just say there was 3,000 continents.
Unlimited resources.
Unlimited resources.
Everything.
Why would we stay here knowing what's going on in this known world?
Why
right?
would we have to go to Iran to kill Iranians?
Correct.
For what reason?
Yep. I know. But my point is just like that guy in the 1800s, when there's tyranny going on, you get up and leave and you go somewhere really far away and you go camp over there, right? We don't have that ability anymore. They did. They had the ability. There was no treaty back then. But you have to look at the timeline. Byrd found more land. 6 months later, he dies out of nowhere. He dies. I think he got the heart attack gun, in my opinion, but he dies. So they bury the story with him. As soon as Byrd noticed more land, they covered that up. They started a treaty that we can't go there. And then NASA starts. So it's this timeline of deception. When NASA starts, most people don't know that when they started, you know, it was Jack Parsons.
Occultist.
Yeah, a bunch of occultists. Walt Disney has his hands in that and starting the organization.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And then I don't know if it's public, bro, but Walt Disney was friends with all of them. Walt Disney's the one that had the animation studio. Walt Disney's the one that had these green screen type of things back then to make all these films and everything. So
Yes, Walt Disney really did help NASA.
Oh,
and
they
his
admit it.
influence was actually quite important in getting the American public excited about space exploration. The biggest
course.
filmmaker of
they needed
that
his
century.
They needed his CGI type of animation. Which, if you look back in the '60s and NASA stuff, it's so bad looking, right? You know,
Bro,
it's
Apollo
so
11 lifting off the moon.
it's so
That's
bad.
insane.
Not for its time.
Yes, that's what
Right?
I told you.
Yeah, not for its time. It's fucking awesome for its
Awesome,
time. Oh my
believable, right?
god, this is, and it's so grainy and black and white. And you know, I can't get cell phone service in your parking garage here,
100%.
but they're on the landline with the president, right? Okay,
And you get the picture the next day.
it's right there behind him. Yeah, I know.
No, they get the picture in the newspapers the next.
Yeah, the next day.
You have to travel for 3 days, guys.
No,
Ask the question.
the moon's right there. It's a cold light. The moon's a mystery to me, though. People are like, well, you're a flat earther. What's the moon? I'll be the first to say I don't know, and that is an honest, transparent answer.
Yes.
We should all say that. We should all look at those lights in the sky and go, I have no idea. I just know that light is hot, that light is cold, and it looks like the stars are some sort of frequencies, some sort of energy type of things. Because when you zoom in on the stars, it looks like it looks similar to, like, say you're in a helicopter and you're looking down on mansions, and one of these mansions has a giant pool circle.
Yes.
And you see the water
Exactly what
ripples.
it
You see
is.
the water ripples, right? The light, they have LED lights in their pool, right? And they see the water ripples. And that's what it looks like when you zoom in on these stars. They're all different. They all have these like frequency looking, angel looking twinkles about them. Even the planets, which were wandering stars, they hijacked the wandering stars, called them planets, because they want people to think there's life up there. There's people that live up there.
What's
no,
a
there's
wandering
not.
star?
All the planets. So the planets used to be called wandering stars. It's kind of, they have their own track.
Okay, that's because they move?
Yeah, well,
Wondering that.
all the stars are moving around us, but if you look at the North Star, Polaris, doesn't move. The sun, moon, and stars are always going around Polaris all the time. It doesn't. There's no parallax. Nothing's. You know, we're supposed to be traveling millions of miles through space and all this stuff, but yet our ancestors, their ancestors, saw the same exact stars doing the same exact motion. Right? We're not moving. But everything above us is moving. The sky is a clock. It's a perfect clock that God made. And I think in terms of the extension of the earth, however much more land there is, there's more stars we can't see here. We can't see them. But there's a lot of stars traveling around a giant earth. I think earth is way, if you want to call all of it earth, it's way bigger than they've ever taught us. Huge. Because when you look at a ball, 24,000 miles in circumference, with an equator, right? So if 24,000 miles in circumference, using their math, it's 8 inches per mile squared. Not of curvature, not 8 inches per mile squared, because it's going in all it's going down. It's going away and down. So you know, we see things 100 miles away. I've been to the other side of Lake Michigan near Chicago, and you can see the only certain days when it's clear. Across the lake, you can see all of downtown Chicago across. That's like 60, 70 miles away. You're not supposed to see any of it. I mean, literally, maybe the top of the antenna of the Sears Tower, maybe you would see that, but it'd be kind of tilting down too from the curve. It doesn't. It's all there. Only a few.
Yeah, it has to be tilted.
Only a few times a year. The conditions have to be right. The conditions have to be right in the lake for you to see it. But especially with these cameras now, the Nikon P900, Nikon P1000, 125x zoom, it's unheard of to the public. I think that came out in like 2012, 2013, which is why the flat earth really skyrocketed, because people were zooming in on these boats that were going down the curve, but they zoom in on the horizon, it opens it up again, straight across from you, there's the full boat with the new horizon far behind it. So it's not going down the curve. It's leaving your eyesight. It's the vanishing point. We all drew that in art class, the vanishing point, that center line. Kind of like you're in a big hotel in Las Vegas or something. I mean, there's hundreds of rooms on one floor. Well, if you look down the hallway, the light above the door is now on the ground. But you know it's not on the ground.
Right.
It's just the way your eyes work. That's how everything works. So when the sun's going away from you, it looks like it's going down. It's just going away. And it's such a small light and close to us, right above us, that and I always tell people, look at sunset. You'll see the clouds are glowing orange underneath the sun.
What does it mean?
But none of the clouds anywhere else are glowing. It's a local light. It's shining on it's right above the cloud. Not 20 miles up, probably 100 or 200 miles.
Not 93 million miles.
Million miles. If it was 93 million miles away, all of the clouds at half the planet, not just your state itself or the city you're in,
would be light up.
Would be all evenly distributed. All of it. And same thing with above the ocean. So if you're in an airplane and you see the sun, you see this big hot spot on the ocean. It's because it's like a flashlight and it's right there shining on the ocean. The whole ocean would be evenly lit if it was 93 million miles away. It's period.
And guys, and that's called science.
Correct.
Literally, that is
real science.
Right.
Yeah, not pseudoscience. Pseudoscience is what we're all taught as kids, and it's believable for children as you become an adult because it's cool, right? It's like, wow, look, we're all spinning and we're floating and we're this and we're that. It's very fantasy pseudoscience that people don't want to get rid of because they love it. They love it. They love Star Wars, all the propaganda about it. They love, but Star Wars is real. It's just here on Earth. There's probably other, say the Earth is like a circle, right? The circle of the Earth with all the continents we know of. You go outside of Antarctica, there's another circle here with more continents.
Like cells.
Maybe they have their own sun and moon over here. I don't know. Never been there. This is just speculation. But what I look at it as, when we see like Venus, right, from here on Earth, we see Venus. So we don't see it every night. But when we do see Venus come into view, it's so bright. It's like as bright as our sun, but it's so small and far away. It's like, maybe that is their sun over there, because if there's another circle here, here's our known world, here's their known world. Maybe Venus is when it comes out the outer tropics, it comes into view into ours. That's why we don't see it all the time. So if you were in another world over here, our sun would look like Venus to you. That's going around us. Just speculating. But it would be nice to know. And that's the thing. But like, well, why can't you go prove this? Well, it's illegal to prove. We would have proved it 2013, 2014 when this was coming up. We would have been like, hey, let's just go to Antarctica and travel over there when you can. And plus, how are you going to get there? I don't think airplanes can get there. Airships could get there, but they've hijacked airships. They took it away from us with the Hindenburg. That's another false flag. They just blew it up on TV. Oh my God, everybody's dying. And then it's like, everybody's like, okay, no more airships. They're too dangerous. What? Because one blew up?
The same thing went with the Concorde, right? One plane blew up. That's it. We're not doing this anymore.
True.
Most of the people don't know. The science guy, Bill Nye, is he an actor? Yes. He's technically both a science communicator and an actor. Guys, an actor.
He's an
is
actor.
telling you about the science?
Yeah.
He's not a scientist.
It's like Bill Gates telling you about vaccines.
Right.
He's a computer programmer.
Yeah. Doctor.
Yeah. Dr. Bill Gates.
Okay, give me 3 bulletproof facts about the Earth being flat that even globers cannot deny.
Well, I can kind of flip it on them. I like to kind of flip it on the globe facts are all lies, and they can't get out of them. There's no photographs of Earth from space. NASA openly admits this. It's all, what they do is they say it's data that they take and they put it in Photoshop and they wrap it around a ball. There's a guy named Robert Simmons. Robert Simmons is one of NASA's lead graphic designers. You remember the blue marble? You remember the blue marble famous photo? So when iPhones first came out, you couldn't even change your wallpaper.
That one?
That might be I don't know. They all look. I mean, pick your favorite one. They're all different. Apparently, the oceans have different colors.
Right.
But the blue marble itself was the famous one that was on all the iPhones when you bought the first iPhone.
Yes.
And you couldn't even. I don't even think you could change the wallpaper. So again, programming. You get a new iPhone. And you're like, it's that, right?
Oh, Homeland.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Robert Simmons was interviewed about this because he designed that on Photoshop.
The whole picture.
Yeah, he works for NASA. He said it's Photoshop because it has to be. That's his words. It's Photoshop because it has to be. He claims they gave him data strips of the Earth, and he put it into Photoshop and basically put it on a spherical thing on Photoshop to put all the Satelloon imagery of it, right? So it's one thing to say, hey, Here's one thing I'll say. When there's any flat Earth versus sphere Earth debate, you would think someone that has all this evidence of that we live on a sphere, what should be the first thing they bring to the table? Photos and videos.
Live video.
They don't. They don't even want to touch that topic because there are none. There isn't any. So what they do is they start with there was a test from hundreds of years ago, sticks and shadows, and they come up with these Rockefeller fables, and they want to use that as evidence. But no one listening has self-evidence of a ball spinning around the sun. You don't. If Apollo, if you were born today, at this age, you have nothing in your brain. You don't even know your name, but you're human. And you got Bill Nye, the science guy, here to tell you his version of where you live, and you got me. I'll start. You're not moving. Does it feel like you're moving?
No.
Does it feel like you're spinning?
No.
Does the sun and moon in the sky look about the same size?
Yes.
Do they look like they're right there?
Yes.
Okay.
Close by.
Yeah, close by. Does it look like they're moving in the sky, these lights? They're moving in the sky? No one stares at the sun for 3 hours, but if you did a time lapse, does it look like it's moving?
Yeah.
Okay. And I would kind of leave it at that. It's very simple. I'm not too sure what's going on. I don't know how much land there is, but we're not moving. And the stars, I wouldn't even say that because it's too obvious. I would be like, yeah, we're just here. We're the basement of the universe. The sky is the clock, which is how clocks were invented. The sky is the clock, perfect clock. Then Bill Nye comes up. Well, here's the thing, Apollo. We're actually spinning 1,000 miles an hour around that light. Not that light, though. That light spins around us, but we're moving millions of miles an hour through the galaxy, and we're getting farther away. And he just blah, 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 all this pseudoscience. You'd believe me instantly. You'd be like, who the hell is this guy? Arrest him. What the hell's his problem? So let's start with your own senses. Everyone listening, whether you believe in a globe or not, well, actually, specifically, if you do believe in a globe listening, you don't have any self-evidence of it. All you have is a story you were taught. We were all taught in kindergarten that you think is real. It's a belief. I know the earth isn't moving. I don't feel it moving. People are, well, yeah, but they don't want you to trust your senses. They want you to trust pseudoscience. Trust them. It's a black budget, black hole. NASA steals $60, $70 million a day from taxpayers in America. And all of the space agencies do all across the world. So they're stealing tax money to give you what? CGI, ISS, trickery. What do they really do? I always tell people, you live in the globe. What makes you think that? Like, why do you? Well, because, and they always default to the pictures and the videos, but they're fake. Now what do you have? And then I mentioned when Elon Musk sent the Tesla Roadster up to space. Remember that?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to remember that because it's fake. It's complete bull. But it was sold to the public as real and legit. Even Elon Musk was laughing at the press conference, and you could tell it's real because it looks so fake.
I don't remember that event. I just remember that. I just know that he launched the Tesla into space.
Yeah. As soon as they went right in on live on him once they launched it up there, and Elon Musk was kind of like ashamed. I mean, it looks so bad. And the first thing he says is, you could tell it's real because it looks so fake. And then he says, we'd use better CGI if we were going to use CGI. And it's like, why are you even saying that?
Yes.
Why aren't you just being like, yes, we did it, But he was kind of like, fuck, it looks so bad. And they buried that story. That should be a poster on everyone's wall in the world. How cool that, if it was real, I'm saying, how cool it was. We'd all have a poster of the Earth from space if there were real photos. We'd all have a poster of an eclipse. What a great photo that would be. They go up there with their rocket and an eclipse going on. They look down on the ball Earth and they see the shadow and the moon and the sun and all line up. It's all fake. So what if you were still born today, I'm still talking to you, and I had to explain the eclipse to you. My start would be, see those two lights in the sky? They're right above you. When one passes the other, it creates a small shadow underneath where that is. That's why eclipses only have little shadows. Most of the other side can't see it. You have to be in a specific part to see it because it's two small lights creating a shadow.
Right. He's
going to come in and say, no, here's the thing. That light is 93 million miles away, but it's really big. And that rock, dirty, dusty rock, I don't know how rocks reflect light like that and get back to us. We could read a book by full moon. We have a shadow by a full moon.
Yesterday I saw that was full moon.
Yeah.
I had to close my
And that's another thing.
curtain.
Same thing with what I told you about the sun glowing with the clouds. Look at this full moon at night. Anytime there's clouds around it, only the clouds right under the moon are glowing. I mean, like glowing, like it looks weird glow. And the rest of the sky behind you is black as night. All the clouds are black. That's a local light. You have to trust your senses with this stuff, because we've had nothing but liars teaching us our education system since day one.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said, another actor.
Yeah, but Neil deGrasse Tyson has also admitted, and I quote, that this whole sticks and shadow test, right, where they say that's the main proof of a ball Earth is that 500 years ago, whenever it was, Aristophanes, and he put a stick in the ground, and his buddy was 500 miles away or something like that, and he put a stick in the ground, and he saw a shadow and he didn't, so the Earth has to curve. What I say to that is, did you call your friend that day? Did your friend walk 500 miles, took a horse? How did you communicate with each other to know at that same exact time you had a shadow and I didn't?
500 miles?
500 miles. Yeah. So
years ago.
How did you, however long it was, you could look it up. Aristophanes, I don't know, might have been 1800s or something, whatever test it was. And that's always like their main thing. They want to argue that the Earth's the ball because of the sticks and shadow. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson was on an interview and he said that he brought up that sticks and shadows test. He also said that if the Earth was flat and if the sun and the sun was small and close, the same test would work. Because now you have now you have a very small sun right by the Earth. Mm-hmm. You could do this with yourself. You could take 2 AA batteries, right? Shut all the lights off in here. Take 2 AA batteries, put them on your table, put them apart, and put a light. Your phone light right here, right by it. This one right above the battery has no shadow. This one has a slight shadow on the right. The battery will have a shadow. It's a local light. And Neil deGrasse Tyson admitted that. Could be revelation of the method, could just be a slip up, but it's not like it wouldn't work. I'm going to quote my buddy Dave Weiss. I'm going to steal his verbiage a little bit. There's 3 buckets. Okay, one bucket is it works on a flat Earth, meaning evidence or a fact about what we see. This bucket is it works on a flat Earth only. This bucket is it works on a globe only. Mm-hmm. And this bucket is it works on both. Works on both, there's a lot in there. Mm-hmm. Works on both. Flat only, there's stuff in there as well. Globe only, it's empty. It's always empty. There's nothing that wouldn't work and be explained in the science, just science, that wouldn't work explaining it on a flat Earth with local lights. But there's absolutely nothing you can put in the bucket of this is only explained if it's a ball Earth and the sun's 93 million miles away and we're rotating around this galaxy and all this crap.
How can you explain seasons like spring and fall? Let's say the sun still shines in fall right now. It's slower than usual, but it's colder. But it's more hot down south. Why?
Not down south. Across. You have the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer on the outside. You have 2 big circle routes at the sun. So we're in the north. We're in the center. North America, Norway's here. We're closer to the Tropic of Capricorn, right? Could be wrong. Could be the other way around. But I'm just giving you the broad example. I'm not a genius about these facts, but I do know the construct of it all. Meaning the lingo. I don't know every lingo the way these experts do. But I do know that if this local sun is now traveling, this is our summer, it's going around in the center, the outside, the sun, they could see it. It's still going around them.
But it's not that close.
It's not that close. So it's kind of like a heat lamp in a sense, right? Where the heat lamp is just on this inner circle. We have our summer. They have their winters here. Australia, south of South America, they have their winters. Now, as the sun, even though the sun's actually traveling in like an 8, the shape of an 8, as it goes around. So it's going around us, but it's always doing this like little 8 shape as it travels. I forgot what the word's called, but
I've seen those time lapses.
Yeah. So you could see that that's exactly what it's doing. So as it's traveling around, now as you fast forward 6 months later, the sun is now on this outside, traveling on the outside. So that's why
it's slower.
Correct. No, it's traveling faster when it's in the south. It's traveling faster. As it comes back in, it slows down, and then you get that 24-hour north, where everybody in the north sees it for 24 hours. It's going back. Now it's going back around to travel and doing this thing. But 6 months later, when it's on the outside coming around, we have our winter. But if you notice, if you look, I don't have the map here or lights or anything to show you. I'm just using my fingers.
It's all in your film, right?
Yeah, I do show it in the film. Okay. I try not to show many things that I can't prove myself, but I do show basic information on that. But as the sun is traveling around the south, where Australia, the south of South America, where they're getting their summer now, especially the tropics, you notice that the light is still pretty close to the southern part of our country. So that's why in the winter, Texas is still kind of warm. Nevada's still kind of warm. California's still kind of warm. We're closer. We're kind of more towards that southern part of the country is more kind of in the middle by the tropics. So we're going to have warmer seasons. But as you see the sun travel, that's why the East Coast is so cold in the winter, because it's not reaching them. As the sun's turning, it's kind of getting that west coast, southern west coast tip of North America, where it's still going to be a little bit warmer. And again, when you reverse that, it's the same scenario where Australia is freezing cold. And you have to think that the name, everything's in the name, Antarctic, right? It's Antarcticing around. So if you're all the way here in Antarctica, the sun is not going around you like it would in the center. The sun is Antarcting, whatever the word is. I forgot that analogy, but and a lot of the globe people say, well, what about the star patterns? Because if you're in the south, they're going the other way or something like that. No, it's because you're all the way over here. You have to turn around to see the stars doing the same motion. The stars, the sun, and the moon, they're always going east to west. It never stops going east to west. But if you're all the way south and you're looking back at the center of the earth, they're going around the back of your head now. If you turn around, it looks like they're going the other way. There's many flight attendants that have displayed this with lights. So you can do this in a giant planetarium or something like that. You see the same effect. Even the same thing, if I give you a broad example, if me and you are in a giant building, call it 20 miles deep, just 20 miles of a huge building, and I say, look, man, take this, call it a motorcycle. Take the motorcycle, drive 10 miles down this building. Or imagine, though, there's lights on the ceiling. If you drive 10 miles down that building and call me, and I say, look, man, do you see this light right here that's above me? You're not going to see that. No. Does it mean it doesn't exist? It's there. You're too far away. So depending on where you are on this earth, depending on where the sun is, where the moon is, where the stars are, and the sun, moon, and stars are always going around our head, but the sun is going in and out of the tropics. In and out of the Tropic of Capricorn, Tropic of Cancer. It's going in and out. That's what seasons are. So, and it's weird too, because the globe model says that in our winter, in North America, the sun is from the millions of miles closer. Closer. Look it up.
Closer?
Yeah. The sun is closer to us in the heliocentric model in the winter.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Because think about it this way. A sunrise in the summer, in the heat of Miami or something, or the heat of Arizona, when the sun first enters your view, I know people say the sun comes up, it's just coming into view. As soon as it even hits that horizon line, you can get a suntan.
Right.
It's hot.
Right.
The second you see that heat lamp,
yes,
it's burning you. But the sun at that point, according to the heliocentric model, is farther away from you that season. It's really weird. And then think about the winter. The sun's right above you in the winter, right above you, literally directly above your head at high noon. And you don't even feel the heat on you.
Right.
Makes no sense. It's kind of like ass backwards. And again, maybe they do it on purpose, man.
During winter in North America, the Earth is actually closest to the sun.
During winter, yeah. Isn't that weird?
It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't. But none of it makes sense, though. When you actually take a step back,
our whole planet has to be more cold when we're not that close to the sun.
Yeah, I know.
The whole planet.
I know.
Because it's small according to the sun.
Yeah, we're a little BB in the universe, yeah. But it's.
I just wonder, how do they explain this thing?
They just did. There is
Makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It's not an explanation.
And that's why they teach it to you in kindergarten. They don't teach it to you as a senior in high school because you'd be like, wait a minute. Well, that doesn't make sense. And wait a minute. I was in Lake Michigan and I saw Chicago 70 miles away. How is that possible? Like, we'd all have critical thinking questions when our brain gets advanced. But they teach us this shit with the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. The difference is your parents, hopefully, tell you that Santa's fake, Easter Bunny's fake by the time you're 10 years old, maybe. But your parents also believe in this heliocentric lie. So they're never going to go, and by the way, little Timmy, you know, we don't live on a ball. That's fantasy too.
How do they know that the sun is 93 million miles away, not 92, not 94?
They don't. They don't, because it's changed over time. Hundreds of years ago.
How can they measure it?
It used to be 1 million miles away.
Oh, really?
Then it went to 60 million. Then it went up to 100 and I think 115 million miles away. Then they brought it back. In modern time now, it's been 93 for a while, 93 million. But yeah, it's not 93 million miles away. Again, all the clouds would be dispersed with the same exact light. The ocean lit up. Everything would be, I mean, it's the law of light. Plus you lose light the farther away it is. It gets faded even more. So the fact that we have glowing clouds underneath the sunset, glowing clouds underneath our local moon, and another thing too, you could take a thermometer, put it in 2 cups of water, make sure the water is the same temperature. Now we should have did it last night, but you put 1 cup with a thermometer right underneath the full moon, direct moonlight in the cup, right underneath the full moon. Take the other cup with a thermometer, put it in the shade somewhere, away where no moonlight's touching it. That cup's going to be 5 to 10 degrees colder within a few hours. The moon is producing cold light. It's cold. The sun is hot. Okay.
Did you do that experiment yourself?
Oh, I've done it. Yeah, I've done it. It works. Anyway, it's been documented since 2014. Multiple people have done it on YouTube, and it's all there. Anyone can do it. I mean, if the moon's producing cold light, the moon's definitely a mystery to me. I don't know what it is. But even someone like Crow 777, he did something called the Lunar Wave. He was documenting the moon, zooming in with I think the Nikon P900, zooming in on the moon and just keeping it there to see what's up. I mean, this is a mystery. But when he was recording some of this stuff, you'd see this like wave of water going over the moon, where it looks like, you know, possibly due to the water above, the ocean above. That's why the sky's blue. It's an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely just a light in water. I don't. So how can I know what it is? But I do know we can't land on it. We can't go there. These are, and possibly, what if they're portals, right? If you want to get really advanced with it, what if the sun is the Son of God, the portal when you pass? If you're vibrating high, your soul, it travels through the Son of God. You get to God through the kingdom, through the Son of God. That's a giant portal that your soul goes to. And if you're reincarnated or you're vibrating low, what they say is like, you know, the whole old saying of when you die, go to the light.
Right.
I wouldn't. The light would probably more than likely be the moon, which is a possible recycler, reincarnation. You go to the moon, you come right back.
Well, the whole Apollo mission, I want to say that was basically the Tower of Babel. I believe that they were trying to reach God, quote unquote, and reach something.
When were they trying to reach God?
The
The Tower of Babel. Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing with Operation
With the moon
Dominic.
landing.
Same thing with Operation. Well, the moon landing was just shot in the studio somewhere, or outside somewhere.
You don't think they even tried?
No, because of Operation Dominic, they would never try. They shot rocket or missiles straight up into the sky, and
Just to measure the height?
to see how high it can go. It should go for a long time if there's a bunch of space up there, but it stopped really quick. It went up and it just hit, and when it hit something, it spread across it. So there's a barrier above us. Some people think it's, you know, like a dome. I don't necessarily. I think it's more of like a toroidal field, energetic, where you can't pass, you can't get through. And the water is such a high, like a H3, like just the most firm water of all time that God created. You can't penetrate it, which is another reason why I think these direct energy weapons, everybody knows about the direct energy weapons and Maui and all this stuff. Everything blue survived.
Yeah.
Right? You know that? Yeah. And China's putting blue roofs on and all this shit, right?
Right.
Well, what color's the sky?
Blue.
Yeah, that's water. But that blue itself can never be pierced. God will never allow you to get through until it's your time. So I think that's the main reason that whatever laser they try to invent, you can't pierce blue. It's a certain frequency that God created that you cannot get through the blue. So again, let's go back to Dominic. They tried with the missiles. They knew exactly that they can't get out of here. So they have to fake it. They have to create NASA. They have to pretend and put fisheye lenses on their cameras to take a straight horizontal line and bend it evenly. Oh, look, there's the curve of the Earth out the ISS. No, they're probably just up 50, 60,000 feet. And you have this giant view of Earth, horizon to horizon is flat. But when you put this $30,000 fisheye lens on, it takes that flat line and bends it. Now, the thing, too, people bring up is this Felix Baumgartner Red Bull jump. You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Globers, they love that. Well, yeah, but okay, maybe NASA's lying, maybe SpaceX is lying, but Red Bull, right? Why would they lie? Felix Baumgartner said he saw the curve of the Earth up there. Neil deGrasse Tyson, again, revelation of the method, has already spoken about this publicly at an event. He said that was a fisheye lens. He said, you don't see the curve of the Earth from where Felix was. Then why did Felix say that he saw the curve? Right. It's a show. It's a shit show. They don't even know what they're doing. They need to speak to one another before they go public. But Neil deGrasse Tyson said, you don't see the curvature of the Earth. It's like, you're a centimeter above a beach ball. You don't see the curve of the Earth. He said, that's a fisheye lens they used. Well, yeah, that's what NASA uses. That's what SpaceX uses. And a lot of these SpaceX rocket launches lately that I've watched, most people don't watch them. They see the clip.
Go like this.
Oh, they all go like this, and then they land. I think they land in the Bermuda Triangle, specifically NASA. You have Houston Center, and then one in Florida.
Correct.
What's in common with those cities? They're right by the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go that way towards more of the plains.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go that way. They go towards the ocean every time.
Yes.
And their paths all cross into where the Bermuda Triangle would be, which is off to the public. So if they land their rockets there safely, we can't go there and record it because we're not allowed anywhere near the Bermuda Triangle. So they have landing bases in the Bermuda Triangle. So they put the rocket up, and as soon as it goes away from you, just like the sun, it goes out of your perspective. It looks like it went somewhere. The difference now, though, because NASA's doing that forever, the difference now with SpaceX is I think SpaceX is trying to throw it really in our face even more, because if you notice some of these SpaceX launches, they go higher than NASA. They go to the firmament itself. And as soon as that, it's like they know exactly where the top is. Right. And then they level out. Yes. And it looks like they put something on top of their rocket, kind of like, it's like an upside down jet ski now, where it's scraping, it's surfing on the water above, and you see the ripples of water coming from behind it.
If you zoom in.
You can literally see the water above moving, and then they land. And it's like, hold on, if you're going into space, why don't you just go straight up?
Right.
No one's ever even tried to do that besides some amateur rockets. Now, there's amateur rockets that have done that. No cuts, no edits, raw, where they put cameras all over the amateur rocket, and they go straight up in the air. I think every time they've done that, within 73 miles, it stops. It hits something.
So you produced three movies about flat Earth.
Level, the next level, and Level with Me. It's a 3-part series.
Have you ever contacted, let's say, NASA employees?
No, because I know the drill, man. They're never going to sit down with someone like me because I'm authentic. They're going to sit down with people like Mark Sargent and make a movie called Behind the Curve and stuff like that, because it's all staged at that point. They control it. They can't control a soldier of God. They can't control me. So they know they would look at my resume and go, "There's no way we're sitting down with him. He's gonna ask questions that are gonna expose us." They wouldn't do it. In Level with Me, we had to sneak into NASA's facility, sneak in microphones, sneak in all this stuff because it's illegal. You can't bring it in. And we went up to an astronaut and questioned the ISS with the harnesses and all this stuff. So we try to do these moments where we want to get the gotcha moment, where it's like, what are you going to say now? You're not used to this. You're used to people lining up because they worship you.
Right.
They love you. You're a hero to them.
Everything's scripted.
You're not a fucking hero to us. You're a fraud. Right. And we're going to question you to your face. What the fuck is going on right now? those are just contrails from the airplanes. And I'm like, but they don't go away. This is being forced. It's coming in every which way. And we're eating it, we're drinking it, we're breathing it. So she started asking questions and they were grilling her. They were like, we're gonna put you in an insane asylum. Who's gonna take care of your daughter?
Why he's not in jail? People fucking died.
Well, it's a revelation of the method. They just told you what they're doing, and silence is consent. So there's a barrier above us. Some people think it's like a dome. I think it's more of like a toroidal field, energetic, where you can't pass, you can't get through. They tried with the missiles. They knew exactly that they can't get out of here. So they have to fake it. They have to create NASA. They have to pretend and put fisheye lenses on their cameras to take a straight horizontal line and bend it evenly. But Neil deGrasse Tyson said, you don't see the curvature of the Earth, where it's scraping, it's surfing on the water above, and you see the ripples of water coming from behind it. Hold on, if you're going into space, why don't you just go straight up? In Level With Me, we had to sneak into NASA's facility. You're not a fucking hero to us, you're a fraud. And we're going to question you to your face. I want to fuck with them because they have lied to us.
Right.
And I'm sick of the lies. They should not be dealt with courtesy and respect anymore. I want to bombard these motherfuckers and actually go up to them and be like, you are a liar. We all know